Hello, everyone, and welcome to Adopt Community Network's Family Connect Summit, Stronger Together. My name is Tracy Picar, and I am the Vice President of Family Services here at Adopt Community Network. Today's opening session will feature some information about some exciting new programs and initiatives at Adopt Community Network, and I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Couple of housekeeping rules. Please put any questions for the presenters in the Q&A. To ask a question, simply click on the Q&A towards the bottom of your screen. Type in your question and hit send. The chat box will only be used to post information pertaining to Adopt Community Network and this webinar. Information about how to access translation will be available in the chat. Please make sure your questions are general in nature, as this webinar will give general information only and will not address specific cases. In the interest of privacy, please do not include personal information. If you're having any technical difficulties, there will be answers to shared questions in the chat section. This is being recorded and you can watch it again online at adaptcommunitynetwork.org. Please be sure to follow us on social media at Adapt We Change so that you can stay up to date with all of our latest information. To allow for as much time for today's discussion as possible, I am not going to read our presenters' bios, but you can find them on the website. Please allow me to introduce our speakers. Linda Lal, who is the Chief Executive Officer at Adopt Community Network, and Dalian Porter, who's the Chief Operating Officer at Adopt Community Network. Please join me in welcoming them to the session. Thank you both for being here. Linda, I'd like to start with you. Hi.
Good morning. Welcome, and thank you, Tracy. We are so glad you've joined us. We're truly stronger together, and you are helping families and communities by being a part of the Adapt Community Network. Today, you're going to hear from speakers on exciting and relevant topics, including self-advocacy, transitions in life, and independence. We know that these are priorities in your life, and they are very important to us as well. I feel confident that you will leave today's summit with resources and supports for our community. I'd also like to thank our Family Connect sponsors, including Birch Family Services, CIDNY, Collaborative for Children and Families, Columbia Weinberg Family, CP State, include New York City, NYSARC, Synergia, and Start Here.
Thank you, Linda. Dalian.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Stronger Together. I think the tagline is so important this year. As we face federal cuts, Medicaid cuts in New York State, it's more important than ever that we really rally together and advocate as one. We're in for challenging times, although they say our field will be carved out as far as the IDD world. We know that's not the truth. As you see in the news recently with the SNAP benefits, the reductions, first there were cuts, no more SNAP benefits for a period of time because of the shutdown. Now they're saying they'll restore some dollars. So with this government and the current state we're in, things are gonna ebb and flow. So as one voice, we'll be strong in advocacy efforts. One of the things we do at ADAPT, we have a quarterly family meeting. I would suggest everyone joins these meetings. This is where we really talk about the issues at hand, and together we figure out solutions and how do we advocate together to try to help mitigate some of these situations.
Great. Thank you, Dalian. I'm going to start with the questions, and Linda, the first question is for you. Can you tell us about a new children's program that is launching here at Adapt?
Sure. We're very excited to let everyone know that we have joined with the Collaborative for Children and Families, and we are going to be providing case management services for our children and their families. We're going to begin with the children currently in our preschools and school age program so that uh, if there are services in the community that they are not availing themselves of, that they will have a case manager who will work with them to ensure that they get everything that they need. And it's not only for the child in our program, but any of their siblings as well. So we have just launched this summer. So it'll take a few months probably before everyone is enrolled. But once you are enrolled, it is the family that's enrolled, and you will have the opportunity to benefit from all of the services that your children may need. So we're very excited to provide this to you, and we are going to be providing this to the children in our programs and our affiliates as well. We're very excited about it. It is something that is unique to adapt. There is no other school in the city that I'm aware of, or probably in the nation, that offers this type of service. So we're very excited about it, and more to come for sure.
Okay, great. That's exciting. And if anybody is on and wants more information, you can email Project Connect and their information will be put in the chat if you have questions about eligibility or how to get your child enrolled. Dalian, the next question is going to be for you. Adopt has several programs focused on housing, which we all know as New Yorkers is a very important and top of mind issue. And these are programs for both the IDD community and the elderly population. Can you tell us about a new program that Adopt has focused on housing?
Sure, thanks, Tracy. We're in a very interesting time where, because of the great medical services the people we support receive, they're living longer. And I think we've outgrown the current system under OPWDD, so we're kind of forced as providers to look at alternative programs. Recently, we received a HUD grant, a 3-year project, where we support people that are 62 and above. And really the program is to help retrofit homes, apartments, so people can maintain where they're currently living. Because we realize, as far as certified centers, there's no more room. So we have to look at alternatives. These are one of the alternative programs we're looking at. In addition, OPW just in September started an aging task force because they realized they have to do something about this. And how do we support people as they get older in age? And what kind of services can we provide, especially around the housing, is going to be key. Well, we're more to come on the task force.
That's great. And, for the HUD program eligibility, again, this is for 62 and older living in New York City. And there are certain income requirements, but again, we're happy to provide more information. Again, if you reach out to Project Connect, they can work with you to see if you are eligible. Linda, Dalian referenced in his opening, advocacy, and I think there's no time more important than now, for families to really start to get involved. Why is advocacy so important now? And what is something, if you're a family member listening, like what can you do today to really start that advocacy process?
It is so important that you get to know your local legislators. They are eager to hear what you have to say. And certainly for families who have children with special needs, regardless of their age, it is so important that our legislative body understands what they do and how it impacts you. They don't realize it, because, as Dalian mentioned, they make a blanket statement that this population is carved out. They think, oh, you don't have to worry. But you do, because as we are seeing with the SNAP benefits, they are being impacted. And so many of you benefit from SNAP benefits. So many of the people we support benefit from SNAP benefits. That's just one example. The cuts in all of the federal offices impact accessibility and availability of staff to work with you when you need to renew your Medicaid or Medicare. Those cuts are impacting us every day. So the legislators need to understand that. The federal shutdown is impacting everyone, and more so all of the people we support and their families. So legislators don't realize that what they do is impacting you. Get to know them. Visit your local office. When you hear of a rally, join it if you can. Write letters. Make telephone calls. Even if you can't visit the office, write them a letter. They do read them. And it is so important that your voices be heard. And it is important that they hear from you. When they hear from us, they think we're just being self-serving because we're taking care of, our programs. And we are that is our goal, obviously. However, it is impacting your lives. And that's what we have to recognize and make an impact by letting them know that. It doesn't have to be a fancy letter, just speak from the heart. Tell them exactly how you're hurt, what it's like if you have to visit a food pantry, what it's like if you don't have milk for your children in the morning. That's serious. So let them know that. You know, they live in ivory towers sometimes. So it's important that you speak from the heart and let them know that your voice does matter. We have self-advocacy groups. The people we support have no problem speaking up. And they do a great job of it. And they've gone up to Albany and they've gone to Washington and they go to the local legislative offices. Join them. Join us. We have lobby days. Join us. It's so important.
Thanks, Linda. And, we are planning to go up to Albany on November 18th. So if you are able to join, again, reach out to Project Connect, let us know. But, it doesn't have to be in person. We've put in the chat how you can find who your local representatives are. So just if you're not sure, you can search by your address and reach out that way via email. We've also put information just about food pantries and other types of that information in the chat as well. So thanks, Linda. Diane, a question has come in about technology, and there's a lot out there. We're hearing about new inventions that really can help enhance the lives of the people we support and their families. Where's the best place, because there's so much out there, like to get information about this technology?
Yeah, I think the best place, if you reach out to TechWorks here at Adapt, and we can put the information into the chat.
Okay.
TechWorks, we've been around for several years now, and it's a really great program where you're allowed to come out, demo assistive technology products. We even have a van that can come to your home and lend you projects. We have a lending library, but it's a great way to start. We can assess needs out there, and we can work with you on how to best suit your needs, because everyone is individual, right? So that's very important that we treat you that way. So we want you to demo the product, see what works, see what doesn't work, and we can kind of help retrofit your needs that way. But definitely contact TechWorks, that'll be important. There's also a new incentive through OPW called Home and Enabling Supports. It's not out yet. We're still working on the product and some language behind the scenes, but we hope early 2026, January, February, we're able to roll it out. But again, this is another way to use assistive technology for people under OPWDD, eligible under OPWDD, to help you stay at home, look at devices, whether it's medication dispenser, whether it's emergency management where you have contact through Station MD with medical doctors, So it saves you or your loved one having to sit in an ER room for hours. We found it very important, and we currently use it here at ADAPT in our certified settings, and it's been tremendously helpful, keeping people out of the ER, able to treat remotely the needs of the people supported. So it's very important.
Great. Thank you. Linda, is there anything else new, like trend-wise or new initiatives that have come out from OPWDD or will be coming out in the future that we should all be aware of?
Well, I mean, I think they are recognizing that people are living longer, so they are putting an emphasis on developing a commission on aging
Mhm.
to see how they can support people and enable them to remain at home wherever possible. So that's a major push forward. Certainly, self-direction has gained a lot of momentum over the last few years, and that's where, you know, the family actually helps to maintain the person at home. They develop an individualized budget and enables them to do the things they want to do, whether it's work, go to a day hab program, participate in community hab activities, and they pay for services that way. And they actually hire their own staff. You know, that's an option for people. And then there's certainly the traditional methods as well, you know, day hab programs, residential programs. Um, but the key thing is, you know, becoming eligible for OPWDD services. And that is, unfortunately, a somewhat arduous process. You know, you need to get on a list, you need to submit applications, and you need evaluations. Now, there are agencies that can provide those evaluations. You need a current medical, you need a current psychological, and a current psychosocial, all roughly, you know, within the current year. So, you know, if you want to access these services, it's important that you get these evaluations. So if you have questions as to where to get them exactly, you know, put that in the chat or reach out to Family Connect.
Great. Thanks, Linda.
Hey, Tracy, I just want to add
Yeah.
something
Go
to
ahead.
go back to the advocacy that we talked about. Through our work with the trade association, the CP Association and IAC, Interagency Council, we try to make it very easy for families to get involved with. If we have your email, we can send you one-click letters that you can send to your local legislator, so you don't have to draft the letter on your own. We give it to you. We try to make it as easy as possible. And I just want to reiterate something Linda said. When we go and meet with the legislators, they want to meet family members. They want to meet people supported. Your voice resonates with them. It's so important that we do this together. So Stronger Together just sounds so great. We couldn't have labeled this session any better.
Great. Well, that is the perfect segue to the question that I was going to ask you to wrap up the session, which is that, you know, there's a lot, these are challenging times, and, you know, there's a lot that we, you know, could focus on in terms of the challenges, but what gives you optimism? You know, what gives you sort of hope for, you know, how we can move forward and be stronger together?
Well, my take, and then Linda could wrap up.
Yeah.
Stronger Together, they can't ignore us, right? I think we have voices and we have to challenge the system. Because if we sit quiet, we then cannot complain. Our goal is to make sure we have as much flexibility as possible in the system. So Linda talked about self-direction. There's still traditional housing. There's non-certified housing, right? So we want to make, even on programs, day programs, with walls, without walls, if you want to work, we want to make sure you have a menu of options. And that's our fight, right, as an organization, to fight for those options for people supported.
Great. Thank you, Linda. Same question for you.
What's also really important, you know, just as you're participating today, and again, to reemphasize Stronger Together, ADAPT Community Network has increased its outreach. Traditionally, we were within the confines of the city of New York. We are now reaching out up into the Hudson Valley. As we have grown, we have touched so many more lives, and it is so important that you affiliate with an agency who can help make your voices heard. The more people who are speaking out and telling government exactly what you need and want is how they are able to respond. If you don't tell them, they just assume that everything's fine. Well, we all know everything is not fine. Uh, yes, these times are challenging, but there is a lot of hope, and with good advocacy, we can make our voices heard.
Great. That is the perfect way to end this session. Thank you to Lyndon Dalian for sharing your insights today. We have a whole day of exciting sessions and learning. Our next session, which is starting early, empowering your child through self-advocacy, will begin shortly at 10:30. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.